Happy Monday, Cougar Mountain. This is Mrs. Corpus with some important announcements. First of all, great job with your first full week of distance learning. We are now on to the full swing of curriculum and Edgenuity and Canvas and distance learning. We're in the thick of all of it. So you've done a great job starting off, working through all the many challenges that this situation has brought our way, and I'm super proud. I'm also really excited about the progress that we're making. We're learning new things, we're all growing, and you know that that's one of the most important things to me, is that we're all learning and growing together. So great job with that. There are a couple things that I want to address here with you, just based on some observation and some feedback that I've been getting. So me, Mr. Reed, and Mr. Womack all have a couple little tips for you here on this Monday morning, and really it's just intended to make sure that you're super successful with school, because like I said before, learning and growing to the maximum ability is the most important thing. Okay. All right. So one thing that I want to make sure is very clear is that now that we're into some actual curriculum and learning, you definitely will start to get grades in your grade book. Your curricular grades are going to be based on standards and how well you're doing on those standards, and if you need to make growth on those standards. But 20% of your grade is based on participation, and that's broken into a few different categories. So I'm going to show you what those categories are. It's really, really important that when we're having a lot of students that are logging in to Zoom, but you have your camera and your mic off. Now, what we need to see is if you need to go off your camera because something's happening, or you muted yourself and then you're just going to get back on when it's time to talk, that's okay. Like brief moments or certain situations, or when you're doing your independent work and there isn't an expectation to engage in your class, that's an appropriate time to have your camera off and then be muted. What we can't see and where you will not get your participation grades is if the teacher is engaging you in a discussion or a breakout room and you're not responding and your camera is off and you are muted, you definitely will not get your participation grades. So the expectations, I want to be very clear about this. You log into Zoom, make sure you're logging in correctly so that we see that it's your actual name and your actual account. So that's number one. Remember, to do that, you have to log into My Bethel and make sure you're going to your Zoom links through Canvas. So make sure that that's number one, that you are properly logged in. Otherwise, the whole system gets a little bit funky, okay? All right, the other thing is that you need to log in. You need to show your teacher that you're present. You don't have to have the camera necessarily on your face the entire time, but we do want you to have your camera on, be engaged. Again, if you need to take a break, take a moment, turn it off, or something's going on in the background, you need to address something, totally understand that. But we need to make sure that you're engaged in the breakout rooms, making sure you're participating. If a chat goes out, making sure you're recognizing that chat and you're fully engaged with that and you're responding, because we need to make sure that we are paying attention to our kiddos and what they need, and we need that two-way participation to make sure that that happens. So I'm going to show you the breakdown in grades in terms of participation and how we're handling that. Families will definitely see the participation grades in parent view, and students will see it in student view as well. The other thing is attendance. Please make sure that you are on time to class. It's really important that you get those learning targets and success criteria at the beginning so you fully understand what you are learning and why you're learning it. You should be logging into Zoom about 5 minutes prior to your class. It doesn't need to be any earlier than that, but just make sure you're logged in 5 minutes before. You're logged into My Bethel. You're getting to your Zoom links in Canvas, and you are all ready to go to be fully participating in class. I really want to make sure that you are taking ownership in that and understanding how important this really, really is for you. Especially, we want to make sure that you are making as much progress with your current grade level standards, because when we get to in-person learning, it's going to be really important that you are as caught up as possible. Okay, so take control of it. Take ownership and of your learning and make sure that you're doing a great job with that. All right, so then I'm also going to talk about how to properly email a teacher, just so that you can make sure you're properly engaged in two-way communication. And we're seeing a couple things that are a little bit funky, and we want to make sure that you fully know how to email a teacher. And then Mr. Reed is going to talk about all the incentives and Cougar Cash, and Mr. Womack is going to go over some behavioral expectations as well. So here we go. All right, so as you can see on this wonderful image, this is how to email a teacher. What we are currently seeing is students putting their entire body of an email into the title, which doesn't really help us when we're trying to find out exactly what you need. So first step is to write a subject line that is appropriate to whatever it is that you need. So if you need help with science edgenuity, then you would put help with science edgenuity, a very brief 2 to 5 word summary of what you need in that email. There's some examples: missing grade, homework question, late work. Okay, step 2, begin with a greeting. Good morning, hello, how are you? Hope you had a great weekend. I'm just checking in on this. Something of that nature, okay? This is a proper email. Yes, right now we're talking about teachers, but this is a life skill. This is something you need to do in real life. Then you're going to write the body of the email. I am writing because, and you fully explain what the situation is using complete sentences and be thorough. This, when you're emailing a teacher or emailing something out that has to do with education or your job, career, you want to make sure you're using proper structure, proper grammar. This is not a time for texting or social media posting type language. All right. Step 4, a closing. Thank you. Have a nice day. Hope you have a nice weekend. Talk to you soon, comma, and then make sure you sign your name. All right. Make sure you give the first and last name. Sometimes we have kids with the same names. We want to make sure that we have the right kiddo. And that's just a good habit to get in, again, just because it's a life skill. Here's some general tips. Be sure to use proper capitalization and punctuation. Always use proper grammar. And please spell out your words. You see that is an anti-example right here. This would be like casual texting, social media, possibly. We are looking for actual words and actual sentences in a proper email. As much as you can, you're going to want to train your brains to do these things with properly. Yes, sometimes we do them shorthand or kind of in a joking way or real quick. But as much as you want to make sure that you are doing that you train yourself on how to do this properly, so that when you go to do it in real life and outside of school, that you have a firm grasp on it. So it's important for us, but it's also an important life skill. So please make this a priority and properly email your teachers or myself. All right, Cougs, here are basic participation grades that you will see broken down into the grade book for you. Again, parents will see it in parent view, students will see it in student view. So just like proficiency levels, you will get a score of a 1, which means never, 2, sometimes, 3 is usually or proficiently, 3 is like where you want to be, and 4 is always or advanced exemplary. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, you're pretty familiar with what those scores mean for you. Here's how we're going to break down participation, or close to. Some of the phrasing in your actual teacher's grade book might look a little bit different, but they mean very much the same thing. So are you being respectful? Are you cooperating, participating, obeying the school rules, using good language? Are you responsible? Are you on time to class? Are you properly logged in, prepared, punctual, high work ethic, ready to go? Class participation, this is a huge one. Are you participating in your Zoom sessions? Are you actively participating even if the camera isn't directly on your face? Are you just taking a brief break with the camera off and then coming back on? Are you, various things like that? Are you fully engaged and being appropriate in breakout rooms? Are you maximizing your learning and engagement in your Zoom sessions like you are so expected to do? And then here is, are you on track with your curriculum material? So are you participating in the Edgenuity lessons outside of the Zoom sessions during that independent work time? Are you on track and making the right kind of progress, and are you participating fully in the curriculum as well? So those are the 4 breakdowns that you will see, or something very close to that, in the gradebook. This is very, very important, and I want to make sure you are fully prepared, because this is a huge part of you being successful while distance learning.
Hello, Cougs. This is Mr. Reed with an important announcement about Cougar Pride tickets. As you can see, we have Cougar Cash, and we're going to be giving it out again this year, even though we are virtual. We started doing it last year, and we had a system that was starting to work, so we want to continue doing that this year. So I'm going to give you all the information you need to know about Cougar Cash. So first thing is that you will not be receiving any physical tickets of Cougar Cash unless your specific teachers are sending those to you in the mail. We will be giving out virtual Cougar Cash. So it will no longer look like this. It'll look like this. This is our Cougar Cash tracker spreadsheet. Your teachers will be adding their names in the spreadsheet and giving you Cougar Cash virtually. So as you can see, I have hidden the names of the students on here, but Miss Williams has given this student 9 Cougar Cash. Miss Cole has given this same student 2. Miss Cole has given this same student 2 Cougar Cash for a total of 11 Cougar Cash from last year. You can keep those this year. We are going to be adding on to what you have this year to what you already made last year. So I also have added a column for advisory teacher. Our goal is for the advisory teacher to be able to share with you how much Cougar Cash you have. A couple times a month, we will have a lesson in advisory so you can review your Cougar Cash. Your Cougar Cash can be spent in a variety of ways. You could save your Cougar Cash until we come back on campus, and then I will give you some physical Cougar Cash that you can put into your wallet. However, if you decide to use your Cougar Cash this year, there are ways to use it. This is our current menu. This is our virtual menu. You'll notice at the very top, we got a virtual high five. And at the very bottom, we have a possible surprise prize. So, and everything in between. There are items in here that you could earn and you could pick up during lunch service between 11 and 1. There are also items in here that we could send to you. And then there are also items in here that we could have you pick up when we return to school. There are a lot of options, and there's a lot of information that's going to change, and there's a lot of information that's coming, and we want to keep you updated in real time. So as you can see here, there's a lot of the same prizes that you were able to receive when you went to the Cougar store during lunch. Those are still available, and then there's some new ones as well, like pizza delivery to your house. So we're going to keep updating this document. We have a Cougar Cash tracker. We have a Google form that we're going to be using, sending out to you again to get some feedback, just like we did last year, on what kind of prizes you want to see in the store. Things that we will do this year is we will have specific focuses for the week. So in our announcements s'more and in your family s'more that we sent out last week, we highlighted that we will have a Zoom focus of the week. This week was using appropriate images for backgrounds and profile pictures. Bitmojis are fun. And here's an example on the right-hand side of us using a Bitmoji to tell you what is expected when you are using backgrounds and images. Background images must be approved by your teachers. So if you have a background image or a virtual background or a profile picture that's not approved, we will let you know.
Seahawks. 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 I don't know if we won last night. I'm recording this Saturday, so in Russ we trust. I'm anticipating we won. We have a good team, good squad. When you got Russell Wilson, all things are great, right? I want to give a shout out to my 7th and 8th graders. We had a great time Friday, rocking out to the Friday song after our ingenuity lesson. I appreciate you guys' hard work. I enjoy working with you. I think we're going to have a great year. Also, talking while the teacher's talking is kind of running rampant with our staff. We're seeing a lot of that from our students. Remember, when you're talking, a yellow box goes around you, right? And also, it's being recorded on Zoom. So when you're talking while the teacher is talking, we know who it is. There's no more, it wasn't me. Yes, it was. There's a yellow box around you. So make sure you're behaving and make sure you're having a good, successful Zoom session, okay? Let's keep having a great week. Let's keep having a great year. Go Cougs and go Hawks. Cougar Mountain Pride.